Hello Year 2, happy Wednesday. I hope you've all got a big smile on your face because it's Wonderful Wednesday. So, I hope you've remembered to get your exercise books ready for the reading comprehension. So, this is our timetable for today. We're going to do the reading comprehension, which is called Monster and Frog at Sea. We've got time to do our core skills. We've got maths activity where we're going to be looking at those pictograms again but answering questions about them. We've got our spellings. We've got something a little bit different. We're going on a little hunt for the words today in some writing. We've got our English work, and then obviously your connected curriculum is whatever you choose in an afternoon. So I hope you're all ready to start your reading comprehension. So in your exercise book, please write today's date, Wednesday the 24th of April 2020. You can write Monster and Frog at Sea, and if you've got a ruler, underline them. If you haven't, don't worry about that. What I would like you to do is to take some time to read this text, Monster and Frog at Sea, and have a little look at the questions. Now, you can obviously remember that you don't have these, you've been writing in full sentences, haven't you, in your books? So that's what we're going to be doing today again. So you need to just have a little read, pause it now, have a read, get an idea of the questions in your head, and then when you press play, I will put on the sentences that you need to write in your books, and then we'll look at the answers together. Good luck. Okay, hopefully you've all had a chance to read that text and have a look at the questions and have an idea in your head what the answers are. Now, the sentences I would like you to write in your book today are these. So number 1, it was a something day. Number 2, the monster was something. So they're your questions that you're doing. So if you need to go back in the video to look at the text again, then you can. If you remember what kind of day it was, you're just picking the right question, the right answer that was on the text. Okay, pause now and then we'll have a little look at the answers when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you've all written those 2 sentences in your book with the answers. Let's have a little look together. I will read it through for you. Monster and Frog at Sea. One hot sunny day, Monster and Frog went to the seaside. Monster lay on the sand sunbathing, but Frog was bored and restless. If we had a boat, said Frog, we could sail away to sea and have an adventure. We could be explorers. Frog was always looking for adventure. Monster wasn't. Okay, so question 1, what kind of day was it? Was it cloudy? No. Was it cold? No. Was it sunny? Yes, it said one hot sunny day. Was it wet? No. So if you were ticking it, it would be sunny that you were ticking. Your sentence should be, it was a sunny day. Or you might have put, it was a hot sunny day. Give yourself a tick for any of those answers that you've given, because that shows me that you've understood the text. If you didn't get that right, just have a little look back now and find in the text the bit that Mrs. Munner has shown you there, one hot sunny day. The answer is in there for you. It's not a guess, it's not a, oh, what do I think it is? The answer is there. It tells you it's hot and sunny. Okay, number 2. What was Monster doing? So, one hot sunny day, Monster and Frog went to the seaside. Monster lay on the sand sunbathing. So your sentence should be, the monster was sunbathing, or the monster was lying on the ground sunbathing. As long as you've got in there that he was sunbathing, then you can give yourself a tick. Okay? I'm hoping now, guys, that you're starting to see how the key words in the questions, you can find them in the text, and it makes it a little bit easier for you. So that's your reading section done now. Just have a little bit of time to check your answers And when you're ready, we will move on to core skills. So for core skills, as always, the link is on there, TT Rockstars. If you can't access it, hit the button, but please let us know so we can get it ready for you and sort it out. If you can't access either of those, any practice with grown-ups or just writing calculations for yourself will be perfect. Okay, give yourself 20 minutes now to practice. So pause the video, go and do your core skills, and when you come back, we will be ready to do our math session. Off you go. Okay guys, hopefully you've all done your core skills now and you're ready for your maths activity. So today, our learning objective is how can you get information from a pictogram? So I found a really fun game called Fruitful, and basically it's a pictogram. First you catch the fruit to make the pictogram, so there's a little game, and then you answer the questions to see how many items are collected, and it will ask you things like how many oranges fell or how many apples did you collect, and it's just showing me that you understand how to collect that information. So there is a link on here, you will see http://toytheatre.com/fruit/. So if you can, and you've got a tablet or a computer, then get on that now. If you haven't got a computer or tablet, don't worry. What I would like you to do is look back from your work from yesterday and to tell a grown-up what information your pictograms show you. So that will be things like looking back at the football text, how many on that football pictogram, how many goals did Annie score? Or who scored the most goals? Or who scored the least goals? What you need to be able to do by the end of the lesson today is to be able to talk about what information a pictogram is giving you. So I'd like you to pause now and either play your game or go and talk about what information the pictograms gave you yesterday. And when you're ready, you can come back and we'll have a little look at our Do It challenge. Off you go. Okay guys, hopefully you've all had a little play and starting to understand that pictograms give you information and how you can read that from a pictogram. So we're going to have a little look at our Do It challenge now. So here is a pictogram to show class 5's favourite t-shirts. So we can see here we've got the colours down the left hand side, blue, green, red and purple, and then we've got the t-shirts. We've also got that key, so it's showing us that the picture of a t-shirt is equal to what? Yes, you're right, one t-shirt. So each of these t-shirts represents one t-shirt. We've then got some questions, and what I want you to do today is to answer these questions. Now you can write them in your exercise book. You can just talk about them with a grown-up and show your understanding that way, or you can do it on a piece of paper. Some of the questions require a little bit more thinking, and I'm going to go through that with you. And you've got to start doing calculations at the same time. I will model that for you and show you how you do that, so don't worry, but you will need a piece of paper for that little bit. Okay, so the first question asks, what is the most popular colour t-shirt? So what does that mean if it's the most popular? How would we find out which one is the most popular? Have a little think. Yes, you're right. So the most popular will be the one that has got the most people that have chosen that colour. So if that's the most popular then, what would the least popular mean? So the most popular is the one that has that the most people have chosen, the highest number. So the least popular must be, yeah, the smallest number. So you need to answer, what is the most popular colour t-shirt? What colour is the least popular t-shirt? So that's those two questions, and we've just talked about what most and least mean. The next one is a little bit trickier. It says, how many more children chose the blue t-shirt than the red? So what is it asking you to do here? We need to find the difference. Well done. Now, if we're finding the difference, hopefully you can remember that that's the same as taking away. So we need to work out how many blue t-shirts there are and how many red there are. And to work out the difference, we're going to take the red away from the blue. That's a really big clue for you to have a go at that. And your last question here is how many children are in class 5? Now I need to work out how many children there are all together. So you're going to have to look at all of the t-shirts and work out how many there were all together. Pause the video now, answer those 4 questions on your paper or in your book, and we're going to look at the answers together. When you're ready, press play and you can see if you check your answers. Okay, off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've all had a go at that Do It challenge, and we're about to check our answers now. So the first one was, what is the most popular colour t-shirt? So if we have a little look, which one has the most? So we can see that blue has the most, can't we? Because it goes furthest along on the pictogram. To be extra careful, we could count them if we wanted to and write the number next to it. So how many people liked blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the most popular colour t-shirt is blue. So hopefully you got that right. Give yourself a tick if you got it right. Well done. If you didn't, have a little look now and just write how many there are for each. And then you should be able to see that blue has the highest number, so it is the most popular. We've then got, what colour is the least popular t-shirt? So the least popular, what did that mean? Yeah, that's right. The one that had the smallest number. So we can see by just looking that green has got the least. But again, if you wanted to check, if you've counted them all and you've written the number at the end, you would know that 2 people chose green. So your answer for number 2, what colour is the least popular t-shirt, is green. So give yourself a tick if you got that right. The next question then was a little bit trickier. How many more children chose blue t-shirts than red? Now I gave you a really big clue and reminded you of what that difference meant and how difference was taken away. Now, as you can see here, I've figured out there were 8 children that chose blue as their favourite colour and only 4 that chose red. We need to find the difference between 8 and 4. So all you needed to do here was 8 take away 4, and the answer is 4. Okay, so if I'll just go into a little bit more detail for that. So the first thing I needed to do was look how many blue t-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So blue equals 8. I then needed to look how many red there were. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I knew it was 4. To find the difference, I need to take away the red number from the blue. Another way you could do it, if you just look here where I've put my cursor, if I was to run a line down there, that's 4 blue and 4 red. Now if you look at these ones this side of the cursor, that's how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a different way you could find out the difference of how many more children chose blue t-shirts than red. So the answer to that question is 4. Hopefully you found a way to figure that out. Okay, your last question in your Do It challenge was how many children are in class 5? And I gave you the clue that we needed to know how many there were all together. Now the way in which we would do that is, you will see here Mrs. Mullen has written down, found out how many we've got. So there were 8 children liked blue, 2 chose green, 4 chose red, 7 chose purple. To find out how many is all together, what do I need to do? Yeah, you're right, I need to add them together, don't I? Okay, so all I did here, find the total by adding them all together. 8 and 2 and 4 and 7 equals 21. So your answer is 21. If you didn't get that, you can now have a go at doing that add and seeing if you can figure it out yourself. So pause the video here, check your answers, then we'll look at the secure it together. Now remember, if you're finding this really, really tricky, this is the point where you need to ask a grown-up to come and give you a few more questions, to check your understanding, okay? If you're ready to move on, then you can carry on playing the video. If you need more time to look at this again, pause the video now and only press play when you're ready. Okay, brilliant. So, secure it. Here is a pictogram to show mini beasts collected by class 5. So here we've got the mini beasts, we've got the names: woodlouse, ladybird, centipede, worm, spider. And then we've got circles. Now what does each circle represent? You're right, one mini beast. Now here, very similar to the last question, but there's just gaps that you need to fill in. So when you write it down, you can just write the number if you want to, or you could write the sentence. So there are something ladybirds. So you need to look onto your pictogram, find the word ladybird at the side, and then count how many there are and write the number in. The next one, there are something centipedes and worms all together. So that word all together is telling us what? What do we need to do? You're right, it's adding again. So we need to know how many centipedes there are and how many worms there are. Then we need to add them together. Then we've got, there are something more worms than centipedes. What are we asking you to do here? Think back to the last question, there was something similar. Yes, you're right, you're finding the difference. So it's taking away the number of centipedes from the worms. And then it says, what else does the pictogram tell us? So I want you to then write your own sentence to tell me another piece of information that we can get from this pictogram. So pause the video now, answer your questions. When you're ready, press play and we will check the answers for our secure it. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've all had a go at answering those questions and we can check the answers now, and I will go through each one with you. So the first one was quite an easy one. It was just asking you how many ladybirds there were. Hopefully you managed to find the word ladybird here and then just simply count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 6. That one was a nice and easy one to get you going. The next one, there are something centipedes and worms all together. So I told you your first job was to find out how many centipedes. So we can see we've got 1, 2. So over here I've put 2. How many worms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to find out how many there are all together, we need to do 2 add 5. And we know the answer is 7. Okay, remember what different ways could you use to help you with working that out. So you could have drew the centipedes and the worms, yeah? Brilliant, put the big number in your head and count on. Drawing circles. Counting on your fingers, fantastic. So hopefully you all managed to get the answer to that as 7. Okay, number 3. There are something more worms than centipedes. So again, we needed to work out how many worms there were and how many centipedes. So worms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many centipedes were there? There were 2. So the calculation we need to do here is 5 worms, take away 2 centipedes, equals 3. So there are 3 more worms than centipedes. And again, if you look at your pictogram here, you can see there's our 2 centipedes and our 2 worms. You can see that there are 3 more worms here. 1, 2, 3. Can you see that? That's another way you could do that. Your last question, what else does the pictogram tell us? Hopefully you've come up with lots of different things. So it might be, it tells us how many spiders there were that were collected. It might be that it tells us how many mini beasts were found all together. It could be the most common mini beast found. Which one is the most common? So we found the most stuff. Yeah, woodlouse. It could be the least common. Which one's the least common? The centipede. So there's lots of other information we can get from that. So pause it now, check your answers, give them a tick. If you've got another thing here that the pictogram tells us that you would like to email, fantastic, send it through to us. If you need more work on this, pause it. If you're ready to move on, then carry on playing. We're going to move on to our deepening now. Here is a pictogram. Eva says, the most popular colour sweet is green. Do you agree with Eva? Explain why and correct any mistakes. So have a little look. Is she right or is she wrong? And why? Pause it here, have a little think. Okay, so I wonder who agrees with Eva? Eva, who thinks that the most popular colour sweet is green? And who disagrees? Let's have a little look at this problem in detail. How are we going to figure out if she's right or wrong? So, one way of doing it is to look at the pictogram and just think, oh, well, that one's further along, so that must be more. Another way of looking is by actually counting how many. So what Mrs. Mulliner did here is I counted how many people, how many blue sweets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I wrote that here. Then I did the red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Red equals 6. Yellow. 1, 2, 3. Yellow equals 3. Green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Green equals 11. So, Eva's wrong because there are more blue. We've worked that out by counting. There were 12 blue and there were only 11 green. Why did she think that green was the most popular though? What had she done there? Yeah, so she thought green had more because they haven't started right at the beginning of the pictogram. So it looks like the green is going further along. So this is why when we're making a pictogram, we need to make sure we're putting things in the right place. Because as you can see here, she started her green underneath the 4th blue and the 4th red. But actually when we counted it, she was wrong because more people, the most popular colour sweet was blue. Hopefully you got the answer to that. If you haven't, have a little look now that I've shown you and see if you can figure it out. That's the end of your maths lesson. You've worked your socks off this morning. Well done, guys. Now I'm going to suggest that you maybe go and get a break, have a snack, have a little run around. When you come back, we're going to be doing spellings and our English. So make sure you've got your exercise book ready with you for your spellings. Okay, go and have a nice break and I'll see you back. Press play when you're ready for your spellings. Off you go, guys. Bye. Okay, guys, I hope you had a nice break and a little snack and you're ready to come back and do your spellings now. This is your last session on working on these spellings because on a Thursday and a Friday you're going to be working on a grammar activity with Mrs. Upton. So last chance where I'm going to be teaching it and giving you the opportunity. Doesn't mean you can't be practicing. It could be whilst grown-ups are cooking a dinner, they could ask you the questions. You could get an older brother or sister to ask you to practice, or you could just get a piece of paper or Play-Doh or whatever you've got to practice them. But on Monday, there is going to be a chance to do a quiz. So Mrs. Mulliner is going to, during your spelling time, I'm just going to read the words out to you and get you to have a go at doing your spelling quiz and then sending in your score for me. So today you can see we've got our spellings here, and here we've got a piece of information. Now what I would like you to do is to make a list of your spellings. So you're going to write all of these spellings down in your book in a minute, and you're going to read the information. And when you find one of these spellings, you're going to tick it off. So for example, Yesterday, my family went to the beach. We all love the seaside and we always build huge sandcastles. Which word that has got your all sound in can you see in those first two sentences? Yeah, so we all love. So then, where you've got your spellings, you would tick the word all to show me that you found that in the text and carry on. See if you can find them all. So what I want from you today, your first job is to write these spellings in your book nice and neatly. Remember that cursive writing. Then read this, and when you find the words, it's a bit like a hunt, isn't it, for the words. When you see them, you tick them off. So I found the word all, I'm going to tick it off. If you find the word talk, tick it off. See if there are any missing. That's your first job. So pause now and have a little go. When you've done that, press play and I'll show you your next thing I want you to do. Fantastic. Hopefully you've all managed to spot all of those words on your hunt in that text. Brilliant. So I will show you. Here are all the words underlined for you to see. So we've got all, always, ball, walk, small, fall, talk, call, bald, and also. One other thing I would like you to do for your spelling today. So you should have a list of words that are ticked when you found them. And then I would like you to write 3 sentences with a capital letter and a full stop and underline your spelling. So if you know that you find the word always tricky, try and write a sentence with the word always in. If you find the word bald tricky, try and write a sentence with bald in. It can be a silly sentence, it can be a funny sentence, it can be whatever you want to be. Just want you to practice putting that word, that spelling into a sentence. So pause it now, write 3. Remember, we'd love to see these, so don't forget. You can email your work to year2@redbrookhays.staffs.sch.uk. Once you finish that, if you press play, we're going to look at our English together. Okay? Okay, hopefully you've finished your spelling now and you're ready for your English work. So, thinking back to yesterday, what type of text are we creating? We looked at an example. Mrs. Muller told you what it was. You're right, it's a non-chronological report, which is a non-fiction text which gives us information. So we're going to have a little look today, and you will be pleased to know that there's no writing for today's session. So let's have a little look. What features are used in this non-chronological report? So yesterday we had a little look at the features and you wrote a list, didn't you? So if you needed to, you could go and look at your list that you did yesterday to help you. What I would like you to do is just read through the text and see which features you can find. A couple of minutes to do that. When you're ready, press play and I will show you the features that are in there. Okay, how many features did you manage to find in the non-chronological report? Really interested to know. So let's have a look. Here, you can see that Mrs. Mulliner has highlighted this bit. What is it? You're right, it's a title. Now this title is the title for the whole text. We've then got underneath, which is a little bit different, the heading, what is a beach, which is kind of like our introduction, isn't it? So it's slightly different. This title isn't a question, but there is a question directly underneath. We've then got, it's made of sand or pebbles, it's found next to the water. So is that an introduction, do we think? Possibly. So it's telling us a little bit about what a beach is in our introduction. Have we got some headings for the paragraphs? So we know here that this is all going to be about beach activities because we've got the heading in bold there, so it stands out. We've got another one here, popular UK beaches. So we know underneath here it's going to be telling us about the beaches. We've got some pictures, lots of pictures on there, which is nice. Fun and interesting facts. There are over 200 beaches in the UK. That's an interesting fact, isn't it? It's made of sand or pebbles and it's found next to the water. Have you ever been to a pebbly beach? or a sandy beach? Which one do you like best? There are beautiful sandy beaches and pebbly beaches, but the pebbles sometimes hurt your feet, don't they? So I think Mrs. Mulliner would probably choose a sand beach if she had a choice. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could be on the beach right now? Okay, so just tell a grown up, your brother, your sister, a cat or a dog, or to yourself if you haven't got anybody, what them features are. Make sure you're really secure with them. What I would like you to do now is to spend perhaps 10-15 minutes having a little look and seeing which features are missing from this non-chronological report. So we've taken away some bits of the text. So you need to have a little look now, read what's there, and think, oh, okay, so I know I've still got these features. Which features are missing? Okay, so pause it, have a little look, then come back. Okay, hopefully you've noticed some features that are missing. I wonder how many have been missing from the text. Let's have a look. That's just to remind you that you don't need to talk today. You don't need to write, sorry, it's just talking what's missing. So if we have a little look here, we've now got, what's this bit at the top? We've now got our title that was missing before. This bit, what is a beach? What part of the text is that? You're right, it's the introduction, so it's telling us all about it. So let's have a little look. What is a beach? Beaches are always found next to a stretch of water, such as a sea or a lake. Usually they are composed of rock, which could be in the form of sand, pebbles, gravel or shingle. At some beaches there is a high and low tide. This means at certain points of the day the sea comes further up the beach. On some beaches at times the sea completely covers it. So that's giving you lots of interesting facts about the beaches in the introduction. We've then got a heading, beach activities. So this piece of information here should be telling us all about what? Yes, you're right, the beach activities, okay? So beaches are a popular choice for both a holiday or a day trip. As you can spend a full day there, many people choose to take a picnic. Other activities include building sandcastles of all shapes and sizes, as well as playing a variety of ball games. People also choose to paddle at the seashore, although it can be rather chilly. Those who are feeling brave may opt to go swimming. At some beaches you can find rock pools. There are lots of treasure to be found, including starfish and crabs. So we've got our headings in there, we've got pictures, we've got interesting facts. This text is just slightly easier for you to read, okay? But again, we've still got the title, we've got an introduction, we've got our headings in there, we've got pictures. So hopefully you were able to find the missing features. There was a title that was missing. The questions to engage the reader were missing. There wasn't an introduction. We couldn't see the headings. We could see a paragraph of information, but we couldn't see that it was what it was about because there was no heading. We had some fun facts in there, didn't we? There weren't any images and the captions came after. Hopefully you were able to spot those features. Eventually you're going to be making your own non-chronological report, so these features are going to be really important. You know, when we're at school and we have our learning wall and we put all the features on there, don't we, that we can go back to, and the keywords that we can magpie, you might want to have a little word mat or something where you could put all these features that you could refer back to when you come to write your own sometime in the next couple of weeks. Just an idea, because I know lots of you find that really helpful. Okay, that's the end of your English lesson, so well done. You've worked your socks off this morning, you've done lots of hard work. It's probably going to be lunchtime now, or time to have a little break. So go and have a little bit of fun. And then just to quickly remind you that this connected curriculum menu is on the home page. You are expected to complete at least 2 of these activities in a week, okay? So remember, there's lots of science, geography, art. Make sure you're choosing 2. It can be recorded in any way you want to. It's your project, okay? It's your last day with Mrs. Mulliner today before Mrs. Upton takes over for the Thursday and the Friday. Thank you to all of you for your hard work so far, and I'll look forward to hearing off you next week as well and finding out how you've got on with your work. I hope you found this helpful. As I've said on both the other days, if there's anything that's not working with these PowerPoints or anything you think we can do to make it easier, please get in touch and let us know. Take care, guys, and I will speak to you on Monday. Have a lovely rest of the week and enjoy your time with your families. Stay safe. Bye.